Hey, this is Off the Edge Podcast, Season 2, Episode 5. I'm Matt, this is Zach,
Hello.
and tonight we have a very special guest from Oklahoma City, Arik Hanradt. I think I got that right.
What up?
Man, we're thrilled to have you.
Thank you so much for joining us. Really do appreciate it, man.
Yeah, it'll be weird. We're looking at the
thank you
TV
guys
here, but got the camera there. So
Yeah.
So, you and I met, three years ago? That sound right?
Yeah.
Has it been that long?
Yeah, it was at the, I want to say it was at the Bands Against Bullying
I think that's right.
show.
Yeah, pretty sure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was a really good festival, and you guys gave us an opportunity to shoot a music video. So
Yes, and
thank
that
you
was fun.
guys.
No. Hey, so everybody that doesn't know, you were like prolific in the Oklahoma City music scene. So you were the singer and guitarist of Sign of Lies. You're a guitarist in Anti-Mortem and guitarist in Longpig. Is there any others that I don't know about?
Guitarist in Wooden Bone.
Wooden Bone. Okay.
Wow. You're a
Yeah,
busy
that's
Beaver.
about it.
Yeah, that's about it. That's all. So what? Just give us a quick rundown on what's going on with all the projects right now.
Well, we actually, from a small run we did with Anti-Mortem, we did like a 3-day show kind of thing, and came back on 2 a.m. and went to work the next day, and here we are. But the shows went well. Sign of Lies, we went ahead and did out in Oklahoma City there, and we have some stuff coming up in April. We have I want to say it's on April, a show in Durant, Oklahoma, with Anti-Mortem, THC, Sign of Lies, Locust Grove, and there's a couple more I'm not too sure about. We're still trying to get the lineup down.
Right on.
Wow.
Right on.
Sounds like a hell of a lineup already.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Supposed to have one out way back, and there's one inside, of course, and which would be cool. I've always wanted to play their. I don't know if you guys ever been to Bubba's Brew House to check it out sometime. Or
Yeah. Yeah.
it's a very very nice place. They have a very big stage out back, and then they have a stage inside that's it's a really nice bar, nice area. They like to do festivals out back sometimes, and it definitely helps with crowd attendance.
Heck
Right.
Yeah.
So it's
Especially
positive.
right now, being outside with COVID and everything. That's awesome.
Yeah, and it's
No, go ahead. Go ahead. If you start talking.
oh, you can go ahead.
No. No, I was gonna say that the bar you were talking about, that was in Oklahoma City.
The one that's in Oklahoma City.
Is that the one that you were just talking about?
Oh no, this bar is in Durant, Oklahoma.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, and I should have caught that the first time. But
And we're hoping to at least. You're all good.
Yeah, I'm sorry. There is a little bit of a
But
lag.
yeah, we have That's what I love about these FaceTimes. It's that awkward. You guys both people are staring at each other like, just kind of delayed.
Yeah.
Always
Somebody
love
say
it.
something.
Yeah. Yeah. I apologize in advance if I end up, spacing out or what. I'm really just trying to hear everything because I tried it through my headphones. It just wasn't so.
Totally understand, man. Totally understand. So That's it. Now, I apologize. I haven't been keeping up on the exact number uh, of your birthday, but you're only like, what, 21, 22 now?
Yeah, about to be on March 24th.
Okay, okay, yeah.
It came by quicker than I thought.
So, 21, four bands, and a job, apparently. So, and when do you sleep?
Yeah. I have a bad habit of going to sleep at like, when I have work in the morning. Like, I usually go to sleep around like 2:30, 3 o'clock a.m., honestly. And it hurts in the long run. Like once you start doing it one time, it's almost like an addiction of staying up late. It's weird. It's just like I can't. Sometimes I'll get lucky and go to sleep around like 10 p.m. It just doesn't do it.
Yeah, yeah. Um, well, man, tell us how you got started.
We're in the middle of actually recording on the Anti-Mortem album. Actually, we're three of them basically all in the middle of like recording albums and then just doing shows, on the side, just to kind of, keep that ball rolling. That way we're not shutting off completely, just have been recently. But we're trying to use that downtime and make it, efficient. Try to record with Anti-Mortem, recording that too. And as far as like Sign of Lies goes, we're trying to get the singing down more, and eventually we're gonna try and do at least like a or at least two singles, something small just to kind of get out there again, because it's been a while since we've you know got new material out, so we're hoping to hear pretty quickly.
Awesome, awesome. Man, listening to Sign of Lies, I jam out to you guys on a pretty regular basis, actually. It's just, it's such, it's
Oh,
aggressive.
thank you.
Well, it's awesome, man. You guys have an aggressive sound, but one thing that I really, really appreciate about that band, and this goes to you, and I think it's your bass player is the one singing harmonies with you, if I'm not mistaken. Um, you guys do an excellent job of being very, very melodic and having what I think is the sweet spot of the clean to heavy vocal mix. Like it's very melodic, very clean, but still very aggressive. And then when you want, you can kick it in and scream and just that right amount of heaviness that without losing that melodic sensibility. And the harmonies are great. And the fact that you're doing that and playing guitar at the same time and doing that well, I mean, we both play and sing, and that makes each thing so much harder. So, musician to musician, just that much respect to you for doing that. And that's the thing that keeps me coming back to Sign of Lies and keep listening to you guys. Like, I love that melodic sensibility while not losing any of the heaviness to the music.
Man, I appreciate you saying that for me. Thank you very much. Like especially with because you know how hard it is just to keep a rhythm while you're singing and everything. So like, man, it's just we're still in that process of just trying to get it down right because it's just so recent. Like and the luck I have is having can help me out where if I need some breathing room or if I want to move around on stage or anything, I can have that sort of security, with them. Especially like he has a beautiful voice. He does all the highs for me. The way because I don't have a very much range to work. Having that other person to kind of help me and having Jesse to help me with with lows because he's got a sort of a baritone voice. It definitely complements everything, and I appreciate you saying that.
It works really well. Whatever you guys are doing, just keep
it,
zeroing in on that because it's really great, man.
Well, and then
because we were honestly to the point, like the first show we tried it on, we didn't know how it was gonna do, and I think all of us were sort of I don't want to say like lack of confidence, but we just didn't know what to think. We wanted to find another singer and everything, and it's just hard, and it's hard to find people. So we're like, fuck it, we'll just keep it for now and see where it goes. So it's awesome to hear a way better response from people than what you were thinking was going to happen, because I always like to think the worst first, just in case.
Yeah, well, that keeps you striving to get better. I mean, so don't lose that, but then also don't lose the confidence in what you're doing though either, because another thing that I really like, and like just today, like I knew we were going to talk to you, so I was like, man, let me see if there's any like YouTube clips or something of you guys playing, just so because I've seen we've seen you guys several times, but I just wanted to get that in my brain, and it's just goddamn every time I see you guys, it's like so high energy, and I come away like that energy is contagious, and that's another thing. Just the live performance of the music is freaking spot on too. So just much appreciation to you for that
And
too.
thank you, because that's like that small amount of time on stage. I appreciate you saying that. See, that's the time where I get to let every bit of aggression go, and try to get it all out while I can, because during it is before shows, everything's always like hell, trying to get shit together, trying to get corral everyone. It just kind of it gets messy sometimes. So it getting to it's almost it's therapeutic. Helps me get to release everything on stage, while I can, before that way I can go to sleep later that night. Just that built up anger and everything. So thank you, man. Like,
yeah,
and it really it speaks volumes when people like to. It means I'm not just doing this for I don't know. I guess not just doing it for myself, but it helps me want to continue when I have other people that enjoy it. Honestly, they say oh, I do this for myself and this and that, and that's awesome. But to be honest, for me, it also helps when other people enjoy it. So
yeah.
I thank you guys.
That blood, sweat, tears, time, money, everything that you put into that 30 or 45 minutes on stage, it's just that's what people don't realize. Just countless hours and hours of practicing, or planning, prepping. In your case, I'm hoping stretching, because you wear me out. Uh, but it people just don't get it. And at the end of the day, you have to love it first for yourself. Um, but yeah, man, if you can get other people into it, then that just takes it to the next level.
I think that if we weren't trying to communicate something and relate to people, then that's kind of the point. I mean, yeah, we can enjoy it for ourselves and have it be a hobby, but ultimately, want to share an experience with like-minded people, or reach out to people. So, and you're doing that. Like, I mean, so I like it.
4 times.
Yeah.
Yeah, and honestly, like dealing with being in 4 bands, it stems for a lot of like coming home from work, and then what am I gonna do? Regular shit that you do on a daily basis. It's one of those things, like I would get bored, and so I just didn't really know what what my basic instinct is, like, oh, just, try to play more and try to, make myself busy with something I want to do. And
Yeah. Do
it definitely
you?
helps to have the right people. It just makes, I don't know, just makes stress so much easier to deal with. It's just
Yes,
that will work around your schedule and everything. Because,
yeah.
I've been lucky with that so far. And like, there's been a couple times like you'll have those feelings, like especially when you're playing in two to however many bands, you kind of get like a little frustrated with the scheduling and everything. But like other than that, like it's what I really doing. It's what keeps me around.
Do you actively help in the writing process? I mean, obviously, Sign of Lies is kind of like your baby, but like the other three bands, are you involved in the writing process?
Yeah, yeah, they've been very like they've been very nice to me as far as like, as long as I don't overstep what the band is about, I'm fine. I can do. I feel like it helps me when it's something that's not mine. Helps me kind of figure out different ways, certain stuff, or how to put in like little sprinkles of riffs here or there. Just kind of it helps me rewire my brain for the better.
Yeah,
As long
yeah,
as they I'll write stuff, but sometimes it just doesn't work, or sometimes it just sucks. But I get honest answers, so it's like, all right, that's fine.
yeah,
Helps me be able from there, and it makes me, feel like it makes me better as a musician. Just to kind of be in like certain spots that you're not sure about, or just different sound.
Oh yeah.
Well, I find that interesting, especially across those four bands. They are all four different bands, but they're similar enough that where do you decide, like, man, I want to take this riff over to this band, or I want to take this riff over to this band, or oh, this band or this riff, this is staying with me.
Mhm. You kind of, yeah, like you kind of explained it already. Like it's literally just I'm sitting there alone. I'm like, okay, I'm, trying to think of. Sometimes like I'll throw an idea out there to like another band, and if they don't like it in this one, I may try it with this one. I know that sound may sound weird. However, it's, oh man, I like to kind of keep things simple. Like when it comes to that, like just like you said, like, they have an idea that would work well. Heavy, I can, go to like Longpig or Wooden Bone, or if it's something that's sort of like a more melodic, I can try it with, Signalize and Anti-Mortem. Definitely help me kind of shape my guitar playing, and think about different ways of doing it. They also have like their ways of like different ways of how they write. Like whether it be like, oh, we do this on recording, or we just kind of how everyone else has been doing it for years. Just everyone in a room sort of jamming. That's what I like about you know all these bands. It helps. It has perspective on like how people do shit in other bands.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh
Oh,
yeah.
well, and I mean
And yeah,
that's got to kind of generate new ideas for you. Seeing how somebody else does something. They do this way, and you're like, well, man, I never really thought about that. And so you kind of approach things differently because of your interactions with the many other musicians that you play with now.
yeah, and it definitely helps me sort of open my mind, and kind of not be, that I want to do. It helps me kind of break away from that,
Hmm.
um, especially if like there's certain ideas I'm on about, and someone else is like, man, that kind of. And I'll listen to it later on. I'm like, oh, those assholes, they're right.
I got a question for you because I have listened to some of Anti-Mortem. I have listened to some of Longpig. I'm most familiar with Sign of Lies, and I haven't seen the other bands live, but I didn't even know about Wood and Bone. But could you just like kind of it in your own words, your own kind of like out of your head, how would you describe each of these bands? I want everyone listening here or watching this on YouTube to go and check out each one of your projects. But what is kind of like a little synopsis of each band to get people interested in that?
So I would say like Longpig, for instance, like they're very it's like a, for lack of a band, like it's literally as we kind of go along, everything's like a lot slower, like a lot slower tempos.
A lot of clean
Track
guitar.
times, like usually like we'll have songs that are like 6 to 8 minutes long, or it's different, and that kind of helps me, leads and everything, because you have a lot more space that you need to kind of go off of, like when it comes to so it just there's a lot more time for lead guitar, which like for a lead guitarist, that's awesome for me. I'm like, oh shit, I need to start getting.
Yeah.
But Sign of Lies, man, it's for me, I can only speak for myself. It's like it feels like it's kind of like I don't know how to. It's just it feels like I'm more familiar with. Obviously, I have more. I have a lot more, control their bands. So, if I have something I really want to write and I want to throw in there, I can do it. If it sucks, it sucks. But it's one of those things. With practicing, we usually try to practice with Sign of Lies like about 2 to 3 times a week, just to kind of keep things rolling, especially with us singing. It's definitely something it's like home for me with Sign of Lies. It's literally, it's just like home. With Anti-Mortem, it's been awesome with Anti-Mortem. It's been a very big learning process for me, because there's a lot of stuff that they do that I was undo with shows and everything, and it's definitely helped me be better at like improvising and like all these little details, how to keep all your stuff together out on the road without it getting lost, trying to keep track of stuff, not like just kind of like basic, simple stuff when it comes to doing shows out your element. It helps me being able to breathe in Anti-Mortem, because I don't have to sing. If I do sing, it's minor backups, but that's about it. I can move around. I can jam out with 4 other guys, and it's awesome. It really is. It feels it kind of makes me feel like a rock star a bit. With Wood and Bone, it honestly stems from a lot of like with Wood and Bone, it's literally everyone what they want to do, and it comes from a lot of undertones of anger, for lack of a better word, a lot of anger. And you can know some of the songs, especially with Logan on vocals. He's a very he's awesome. He's very talented. He actually taught me, certain things I'm gonna, use later on. And that's the thing about all these bands. Like, it helps me it just helps me get into shit that I never thought I would get into. Like, and with what on stage, it's 100% aggression throughout the whole thing. You know, it kind of keeps you in shape a little bit. There's no stoppings. You know, just the guys in that band, they're really likable people. So
Awesome.
that's what I can say about all these bands. I really enjoy, you know, what I do with all these groups. So
You know, listening to you try and describe Sign of Lies, I totally get it, because when it's your own personal project, it's hard to describe your sound. You know, your own personal sound. Somebody will come at you like, "Oh man, that song sounded just like," and you're like, "What? I don't hear that." You know, and I wrote it, but um, it the way I think the way Sign of Lies sounds to me is like at the core classic metal with a very modern twist to it. You can hear, you know, classic Maiden, Priest, even, you know, Motley Crue. You can hear all these older 80s and early 90s influences in there, but it doesn't feel dated. I mean, it feels new.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's what I've loved about it from day one.
Yeah, I'd agree with
and
that.
I appreciate the 80s influence that you caught with that too, because every now and then, like, we'll hear stuff like, you know, bands like Disturbed or anything, but I can hear bits of like Iron Maiden in this, or, you know, like Motley Crue, because where a lot of our, like, especially like the bass player, like we got into a lot of these undertones, and I'm glad that people can catch that, because it definitely and we like I like modern music. Like, don't get me wrong, like, it's just, you know, 80s music. That's, you know, that's what my, you know, my family's, you know, been playing for, you know, ever since I was, you know, little, like one of those things that even if you, like, you don't like that style, but if you hear it all your life, it kind of sort of creeps up and shows up in your music, seems like.
It
So
does.
that's what I like about it.
It does.
By the way, thank you for those comparisons, because those are, you know, those bands are awesome to get compared to, like, especially Motley Crue. You know, that's one of, like, Mick Mars is he's one of my influences.
Very underrated
Just
guitarist.
hearing he's one I can't wait to hear his solo stuff.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if it's out yet, because I'm very uninformed with all this stuff. So, but I can't wait to hear it.
Yeah. Well, going back to your
Oh, yeah.
influences, when did you get started on guitar?
When did I start on guitar?
Yeah.
Um, I think I started when I first grabbed because it was like the first guitar I really started on, cheap $10, like, it was, I think the brand name was like an Amigo or whatever. I've never seen those in my life ever again, aside from that one guitar. But with my grandpa, and he used to be in a mariachi band,
Ah.
Wow. All right.
and they were called the Los Primos. And he plays saxophone, but he could also play guitar, and he could also sing before he had lost his voice. But I'd always see him just kind of on his recliner, just sort of jamming out, and I wanted to do it with him, but I didn't really know how. So I'm just sitting there slamming with my fingers, you know, on the strings, how to play, like, any of the frets. Didn't use any of the frets. Literally just used the 6 strings, and kind of went from there. And I think when I was about 7 or 8 is when I to, like, take it, started to get into it a lot better than at 5. Because when you're at like 5 years old, you're just kind of just dicking around at that point. You're not really, unless you're a prodigy, seeing those around on YouTube. But, like, for the most part, you're just kind of just, you know, doing your thing.
Yeah.
Like me, just kind of slamming on the string, just not really. Kind of just grew on from there, and a lot of my family members were, musicians. Either they were musicians or they're in the industry, like like Mark. He used to sing, and then after singing, he was basically he's promoting, doing shows or out on tour. So he's kind of been around it, you know, all his life. My biological dad, and he's been doing it all his life too. He's um been he can play cello, he can play all these sorts of instruments. I'm jealous of that, but it's just one of those things. It's kind of like, in a way, it's kind of like when a lot of families, like there's like a lot of people that play sports in their families, and so they just kind of carry on the tradition. That, you know, my family, like my brothers and my sister, they all got into different instruments too. Whether they still play or not, they still. So it was sort of like it wasn't required in the family, but everyone kind of poked around and dabbled in music of some sort. So it was one of those things, like, to play sports or anything. So music works for me.
Right on, right on.
Yeah.
Well, you need to remind Mark that we need to get a show with you guys in August.
Yes, yeah, definitely. Especially out on there was a festival that you guys do, August, if I'm not
Trauma
mistaken.
Fest. Yeah, yeah.
I'm having a brain fart right now. Which one is it?
Trauma Fest.
Yes. Um, yeah, I'd definitely like to do a show with you guys, like whether it be out of state or in Oklahoma. Either way, like
Yeah.
we're down. It's been since Rocklahoma.
Yeah.
Even then,
Yeah.
it was just both stages were so fucking far away. It was hard to, like, for either of us, trying to catch it when we could.
Yeah,
So it'd be nice to share the stage together.
yeah, it would. It would. Um,
Hmm?
I hit a blank.
Oh, no. Um, yeah, in August, we're gonna be probably headed down your way. Um, I don't know. We can talk about it offline, but it'd be awesome to get together and just. I haven't even if we're just in the area and you have a show, I would like to just come watch your show because
Yeah.
I just enjoy rocking out with you guys, but we'll definitely have to get together at some point.
Have you heard any rumors about Rocklahoma this year? Is it just going to be all AEG stuff?
Rocklahoma?
They going to do any side stages?
Man, I think they'll still have side stages. I'm not very well informed on Rocklahoma, other than just, like, he said, she said stuff, like
Right.
like whether if it's gonna happen, because I don't even know if it's even gonna happen. And I'd love for it to happen, because it's been canceled a year or two now. Feels like forever, honestly.
It's supposed to. Everything
But
sounds like it's
I've
going
been
to be a
hearing
go. Labor Day weekend as opposed to Memorial Day.
it's been a lot of kind of like back and forth. It seems like. It seems like because I'll hear like, oh, it's gonna get canceled again this year, or I don't know, honestly.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
I really wish I could find that stuff out, because we were wanting, if it's gonna happen, we're wanting to at least try to do like side stages of our own, to where we can put bands like us two, like us, both of us, like bands like us on
That'd
it,
be
to where like we have another person of just doing the same stages each year or something, because it's hard to get in even on the access stage. I don't even know if they even have that anymore.
No, I think that turned into the Roadhouse, the DMB processing stage is the Roadhouse now, and that's through Doug Burgess. So if you don't kind of meet his criteria, you're not going to be on it. Which, I mean, that's cool, man. If it's your stage, you do what you want to do. You know what I mean?
We can. I don't exactly know what all the limitations are. Um, Mark's actually more of the one to talk to on that because he's him and his buddy they've been working on for a while. Like even last year they were wanting to do something, but just the way things have been lately, it's just been to just to keep things go like to keep things going, like shows maintained. Like we had a run in Texas we were supposed to do. Just with the attendance having to be lowered and everything, it just makes it hard. Just to at least it makes the bar have to work extra harder and lose extra money because a band a certain amount just so the band can at least have gas to the next show.
Right.
And when you're having to lower all the lower the capacity over fuck, it's like we might as well not even be open kind of a situation.
Well, it's definitely been a balancing act
And it,
for most venues.
what happened?
Yeah, I said it's definitely been a balancing act for most venues. Whether they want to stay open or try and ride out the storm. Um, and unfortunately, we've lost a lot of venues because of that. But I've also seen some that
Yeah.
kind of rolled their extra money back into themselves and are now starting to come back and hopefully will succeed. We need places to play.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's to the point where we've done this ourselves, but I'm seeing other bands do it too now, where they're just doing like a kind of DIY shows, just like out of garages, shops, anything like they can get a hold of, like just to fucking play.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I will say, like, one positive, it's helping bands kind of get back to being recreative, like not just with music, but like with like putting shows is one like positive I have seen with all this going on is that it's definitely making bands find different ways, like kind of different ways to like get shows together, whether it be you know doing a show and it's out of your garage or just or out of like like I said, like different shops to do it out of, just finding venues like you said. There's so many that are shutting down, and it's getting hard and hard for the ones that are even open to remain open. So it's been sort of like a kind of like a catch-22, it seems like.
Yeah. I'm really hoping that we have I don't want like a drought summer, but I'm hoping that we have a dry summer because this is going to be the time for outdoor shows. That's how that most of them I think are going to come back. It's going to have to be outdoors. We're going to see the drive-in shows
Yeah.
and different things like that. So uh, hopefully we don't have a wet summer.
Yeah, and I do like I also do like the outdoor show um, idea because it's just, I mean, no one can really say anything about it outside. There's enough space for everyone,
Mm-hmm.
seems like. So it's just like plus it keeps people outside again.
Right?
It keeps people, you know and that way they're not, not everyone's getting Stockholm syndrome inside their home, losing their fucking minds, and
Right. We're out in the sunshine,
people
getting
a
vitamin
breath of
D.
fresh air.
Yeah.
You know, being healthy.
Yeah,
Being
yeah.
healthy outdoors. So it's good. And something I've seen with all of this that
Yeah.
every once in a while you come across a band that takes music to be really like a competitive thing, like they're out to like beat
Mhm.
the other bands. we're fortunate. We've got a really great community around here, but I
Ah,
think that this has really even strengthened that. It really makes everyone feel like, man, if we want to be able to play and share our music with people, we could really need to come together as a community of musicians and support each other and do shows
mhm.
together. Lift up the whole scene. Uh, you know, and that's part of us doing this podcast is that's built into that too because we feel really strongly about that. But have you seen kind of that sentiment in Oklahoma City?
Yeah, actually, and it seems like it's sort of like recently, because I will say, and this isn't any blames or promoters or anything, but it seemed like before all this kind of happened, like the scene was on just on the verge of just flopping. Anyways, it just seemed like it was just gonna crumble. It's hard to get bands on the shows because there's not enough bands. Bands are splitting up, breaking up, this or that, and it seemed like everyone was kind of in like a not ever people were just in sort of like this negative mind space, and me included. And I feel like you said with this, it helped kind of with bands again, to where everyone's just not out for themselves. Everyone's just like, okay, we got to help each other in order to at least do a show. And I think it's in a way it's kind of helped bring back those just those like good, like just decent things back, just to help people bands kind of starve a little bit. It helps them like, oh fuck, I really do care about this and I want to do this and I want to want to keep playing shows somehow. We got to help each other. So 100%.
Yeah,
Right on.
yeah. Um, so you were talking about recording with with the vast array of bands that you're in. Do you guys have any idea of when we're gonna get to hear some?
Man, I'd say like a rough estimate would be probably around hopefully before this summer hits. Well, I'm hoping Longpig will be finished. um Anti-Mortem, trying to get that out, and it shouldn't take Sign of Lies um, get back like at least to get like a single or two out. So I'm hoping by summertime we should have like some new shit out. Just get into that way we're not, because we've been playing Sign of Lies specifically, like we've been playing the same stuff to the point where like each of us will get kind of tired, going through the same set list and over again. And plus, people that see us that are just kind of like, hey man, are you guys gonna get some new stuff out?
Yeah.
Just like
Yeah.
some new shit. I want to hear some different shit when it come out. So it kind of lights a fire in our ass to try to get back to it. And with us finding our recent drummer, Jake, dude, he's a very phenomenal drummer. He's very well. He's very well prepared. Like, and he's gets into a lot of he used to have I don't know what you call it, but he was basically like a drummer in like a jazz. He took
Oh.
jazz class and all that. I'm sorry, I'm very so he has that sort of versatility, and he's just so quick with everything. Like especially with being on time for parts, and it just here, especially with writing, that we should be able to put a song or two together within no time. It just they have that are already prepared on their own craft. Is it just makes so much of a difference.
Hell yeah.
And it's been one of those things. We've been growing with him so far, and everything's been working out. So we're wanting to go on this with full blast and try to.
Now it's been you and Jesse for quite a while now. How many years have you guys been playing together?
How long have me and Jesse?
Yeah, yeah.
Been about man, it's been since like 2013. I think it's when I ran into him, and me, him, and he was actually playing guitar. He still plays guitar, but me, him, and another mutual buddy of ours got together and wanted to start. So of course, we're playing in the garage and everything, and trying to get stuff start out. Going through different members in the process. It just sort of became mine and Jesse's band. Me and him have been with it for since I would say like 2014 when it was a Faye band.
Yeah.
And it's been a very long learning experience for me and him both. I will say, into that point where we can manage certain stuff, like as far as like we're just a lot more prepared and a lot more professional with certain things. So me and him have just been kind of sticking with it for as long as we have now, and we don't really want to stop.
Yeah.
So
Well, you can tell.
it kind of
You can tell when you guys play that you kind of know what each other's going to do. Um, you just kind of have that group telepathy or whatever.
Right,
So,
right.
but like you were saying,
yeah.
getting the right people makes all the difference in the world. So yeah, definitely we're hoping that this is the drummer, man.
Yeah, and even like with us, having members that just don't happen to work out in the band, like it still helps me and him kind of keep that. I don't want to like sort of like it helps you kind of keep on top of your shit a little better when you're having to get other newer members up to speed, or having a setting. It helps. It definitely helped us in the long run to kind of just to keep it together and not give up and not just be like, fuck this. Like that's will come in our head every now and then, but it helps when you just literally just, even if you don't want to practice something, just try to keep while you can, like just to help keep your sanity in the band. It uh it helped us a lot, just being able to all this, because we, even like when it comes to auditioning people, like you'll meet some of the strangest people, some of the funniest, best people, like during auditions, and it just their point of view, and it just it broadens your viewpoint, I guess is what I'm trying to say.
That makes sense.
You can kind of take the good with the bad.
Yeah. Um, just seeing like music that you wrote and then presenting it to someone, it's like, all right, what are you gonna do with this music? And seeing a bunch of people have different approaches or different takes on it, I can see that being a really neat experiment in a way. Not that you're just doing it for shits and giggles, but I could see that being kind of instructive in how people are interpreting, what you're doing, and you being able to go back and fine tune little things.
Yeah, yeah. Especially like with looking at video, which I don't really particularly like to do, but I kind of have to, like doing like watching videos of your set afterwards, just to kind of see where you fucked up, or if you tripped over some bitty stuff that you can kind of point out to yourself, and then just sort of move on from there. Which I recently, with every show, like as far as like my performance, I've never been fully satisfied with it. Like there's certain things that'll kind of piss me off that I did on stage, and I'm like sitting there back. I'm like literally sitting there the show. I'm just like, God damn, I should have done this fucking part, or should have done this part right, or.
Yeah.
And you just kind of go like, for me, I go into like Spain, like a shame spiral. Like I can't help it. It just fucking no matter what. But
Yeah, I understand. I do the
You know,
same thing, man.
it doesn't help. Like, yeah. Especially if you're hard on yourself, like you just can't break away from it. So I just learned to like, yeah, fuck it. But it's just me that shitting on myself. So it's like, it's just, it's one. I don't know. Like I don't know why. Like I keep coming back to, if we have like shitty shows, or if there's like shows that like no one shows up to, I may be like discouraged, but for some reason, like you just can't. You want to see what that next show is like. You want to see like, oh, I wonder if we can top this show, or
Yeah,
it's
I
just
think
it's
those
just one of those
rough
things.
times, that you can either let that bring you down and make you want to quit, or you could have your attitude and be like, all right, well, that just means I need to get a little bit better for next time. And then that little bit better and that little bit better, show after show after show, then pretty soon you're, leaps and bounds above where you were. And just, that's how we all keep progressing as musicians and challenge ourselves and keep getting new ideas. That's the process as far as I understand it. So I think that you're definitely on the right track. It's not always, doesn't always feel good, to look and say, oh, that was shitty, I could do that better. But that's how you get better, though.
Yeah, like before shows, like I've gotten a little I've kind of calmed down a little bit, since then. But like, man, there's shows like I throw up before I go into this like I said, like just shame spiral, just all this like tension, before getting on stage, and I don't like to relax till like mid to the end of our set. That's when I'm like, okay, I think we can get this. It's just one of those things. Like I'm always, until we're like midway through our set, I don't feel good. It's weird, but it's just one of those things. Like people kind of deal with it in their own way. I have people I've played with, like they don't get nervous or anything for dit. I'm like, man, I wish I could have that confidence, but for me, it works. It works best when I'm like on edge, I guess.
Yeah. Well,
You know,
and
look
I think
here and
most of those
there,
people
and
are like ducks on a pond. It looks calm on the surface, but under the water, those feet are just going mile a minute.
oh yeah. You'll have like people ask you like when you're sitting there pacing around before getting on stage. You're like, you nervous? I'm like, yes. I'm like, why do you think? Like,
No,
I'm absolutely
it's
nervous.
just doing
I'm
your
nervous as
cardio.
shit.
It's like I put my heart and soul into this fucking music, and I'm about to just like put it out there for everyone to potentially shit on. It's
Right.
like, yeah, that's kind of nerve wracking.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It bugs me when people act like you shouldn't be nervous during like those situations. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? I'm like, what? I'm like, like, I'm as bad as it, before shows or everything. Like I start shaking. I start looking like a crack addict before I get on stage. Like it's not. Afterwards, I'm like, all right, I'm fine. We just played. But beforehand, I'm just like so fucking I'm ready just to get up there and just see how we see, just to kind of get it out there.
Mm-hmm.
Afterwards, I may be thinking like, oh, I shouldn't have fucked up or on this or that, but I remind myself like, oh, it's done. It's done. It's done. It's just it's nothing you can do after that. So
Right.
Yeah.
it's out of your hands. Just
Right.
keep, just try to top that next one.
It's like that show
And
is a
that's
snapshot
really
in
what
time,
keeps me from.
and you can move on from there, and
Yeah,
the next
yeah.
one will be a little bit better. Yeah.
It makes things. It's a good like alleviation after everything, and like recently, you know, I think we're starting to kind of get more into ourselves as we're getting older. You know, kind of take time for us to, you know, fully adjust into who we are, because you know we're still trying to. I hate saying this, but we're still trying. We're still trying to get that niche in, you know, where we're at and everything. Like especially like with new material, with some of the stuff we've been working on, it's definitely different from, you know, this EP that we have. But it's just, you know, all it is. It's just us trying to see what we can get back.
Oh yeah.
Well, I think it's important to grow. I think, you know, everything you should do should grow upon what you've done before. You know, that's what makes you better, and that's what keeps the creative spark alive. You know, if you're just showing up to do the same thing again, I mean, you know, it works for some people, but you know,
Yeah.
just keep on pushing forward. You know.
Oh yeah, like
There's bands that I've loved some of their earlier stuff, and then maybe their sound evolved, and maybe I don't like the later albums as much, but then I think like, you know what? I'm glad that they have an evolution to their music, because if they just redid that first album like 8 times, like that would have been far worse than having them, you know, develop us into a different style maybe, or this or that. I mean, it's all about growth and change, and that's
yeah, like my favorite examples is like Slipknot. My favorite band is Slipknot. Ever since I was, you know, in fifth grade or whatever, like that's Metallica, pretty much. It's that's one of my Titan bands that I've liked since I was a kid,
mm-hmm.
and they're a good example of like I may not like all album, but like it is awesome to see them grow into this, you know, this different element than what they were, you know, like from their first album or their second album, like progressed. And especially like you know, certain things like they're getting old, you know, they're getting a little older to where they can't like people think it's shit when you get older, and it's like I'm not old yet, but like I could see like how that like be a fucking challenge, you know, trying to write the same aggressive stuff like back when you didn't have any, like nothing, like when you just came from just dog shit, you know, you're writing out all your aggression, and now like you've made it. It seems like they've made it, and now they're like they like I don't know what else they could do, like as far as like getting back into their old shit like again. Like it just doesn't. People think like it makes sense to them, but like if you really think about it, like what are they gonna be coming up with? You know, it seems like they went they went well with going in that sort of melodic direction that they took. Like
Yeah.
there's only where you can, you know, be heavy, aggressive, and in your face to the point where people are just like, oh yeah, okay, I've heard this shit before. You know, it sounds like, you know, watered down Iowa album or whatever. That's what I like to see. Like they're progressing in that area. Like it's just it makes it a lot, and it kind of makes you reflect on yourself with your music. You know, like what are you doing to grow, to change, and I don't know. It's cathartic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I tell you what, man. I've got another question for you, and then we can kind of cut you loose. I just kind of watching your camera in your background. Are you in your rehearsal space?
Yeah, yeah. Let me
Give
yeah. It's
give
kind of
give us a little rig rundown,
it looks
man.
like a
Let
hallway. I
us see
know.
what you're playing
This
through.
is this.
Yeah, we're totally geeks about gear, so I don't know if anyone listening to this will be as into it as we are,
Oh,
but yeah, let us know what you got going on with your rig.
um, man, my gear is actually still in a vehicle right now. But
Oh well, you can
I
tell
can
us.
kind of give you like I have one of my guitars here, and this is one of my favorite ones actually.
Oh
It
yeah.
is a lime green Jackson,
Sweet.
and it almost feels like a junior Jackson, just because of how small it is. But man, I have not been able to find another one like this, and it's a full body, full neck through,
Mm-hmm.
um, nice lime green G's in my guitars because there's no soldering. It's just
Yeah.
it seems like they've gotten very simple with how they put pickups in. So I'm like, man, it's awesome. It's chunky. Like I like chunky pickups. I love I like gain.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm definitely not a musician. I love to have like a good amount of gain and everything. So it's just one of those things. But I've been running through recently Axe Effects just because and they're very simple when it comes to like setting a pain in the ass to get to like just get your tone, but like as far as like getting up on stage, it just makes it so much faster. So I
Mm-hmm.
run like I basically run my hacks through a head unit that you can use for like your PA system. That way you have something to kind of go off of with volume. And I run that through Black Star cab,
Nice.
or a like a Mesa cab, and it does the trick. And some sound through the head. I usually I tell them like, man, just mic it. It'll be easier. You don't have to figure out all their extra shit. But I use a lot of Black Star gear, and like these are my two heads. I don't know how well you can see this, but
Oh yeah. Okay.
it's very dim. I apologize,
No,
but
no, we can see it.
Yeah.
I love they're they have a nice like they're just simple. Yeah, not very tone savvy. So
Um,
Well, you
if I
don't
can
need to
dial it
be.
in to where it just sounds decent, I'm like, all right, that works.
Yeah, yeah. You hear something you like, it doesn't have to
I
be
wish I
fancy.
was huh?
So you hear something you like, it doesn't have to be fancy.
What happened?
See if you got that.
Yeah,
Okay.
I listen to people sometimes when they talk about like setting up their gear and they know like which decibel they're on. I'm like, man, I wish I could knowledge. I just don't care to be honest. I can't get into it that much. It's just one of those things.
yeah.
Like the sound check I ever saw on stage was we got to watch Striper. You remember Striper?
Yeah.
Man, that was my first concert.
Really?
Yeah.
Man, they're talented. They're very talented people. Like, and they know that was a botched where they know exactly where they need to be. Like positioning mics, what you know, how much trouble they should have, and like they like scientists. Like I've never like they controlled the soundboard, got all the vocals where they needed to be. Everything was crystal clear. Their harmonies were on point. They didn't miss. Like this was like for sound check. Like they were the most professional band I've ever seen. Like people can hate on them or what whether they're a Christian band or not. Like they're badasses. They're
Yeah.
literal badasses. Like they've been doing this shit for decades. So they've like it was awesome. They were very very nice, very humble afterwards. Like the drummer came up to me and just said hi. Like he didn't know anything it was, but like just that that I take that and I see other people that do that, like famous musicians, and it makes me be like, oh, I want to be like that. Like I want to be that's just has his shit together and is very down to earth, because it's just you don't every now and then like I'll walk in doing like stagehand or anything, or I'll deal with a couple of dicks, but like for the most part it's been really cool experience to see people that still have a handle even after all the success they've been through, like especially Striper. Like I was expecting those guys to be assholes, to be honest, just because they're famous. It sounds very stupid, and it is, but it's just one of those things. Like you expect, them to have like the rock star attitude, but they're not. They're very they're well informed, and they know who they are,
Mm.
and they know how to handle things, and that's just one of the things. Like that's where I want to be. It's just that
Yeah.
goal, just that mindset too.
Hell yeah.
I hate to keep talking y'all's ears off for that whole experience, but
No, that was good.
that's just something that kind of it speaks to me. You
Yeah.
know,
And then maybe someday, you'll be in that position and there'll be someone looking up to you and you can pass that on and encourage the next generation. I mean, you pass that shit passed on. Striper probably had people do that for them. I mean, so we as musicians, we can, whether we're big time or not. I'm sure that there's people looking up to us when we're on stage, and we can encourage them to go on and do great things. So that's a good attitude to have, I think.
Well, I think if you're going
yeah,
to I think if you're going to put your voice out to the public, then you have a responsibility to the public. And
I've been doing this podcast all wrong. Oh my god.
so don't be a dick. That's the takeaway. There's the takeaway from the whole podcast. Don't be a dick.
and I could just say like, thank you guys for giving like just bands to make it like us, like giving us like a platform to talk on, because we don't there's not a lot of this shit for, like, you guys know, there's not a lot of podcasts out for everyday musicians that want to be just through their music, but just do podcasts like these. Like, and thank you guys, like,
Oh yeah.
seriously.
I mean, we're fans. I mean, that's the
Yeah,
thing.
yeah.
At the end of the day, yeah, we play music too, but we're fans, and we're fans of music. We're fans of books. We're fans of movies. Lots of movies. We're fan, we're fans of art. When the pandemic hit, it was like uh, the fact that we had started this before the pandemic was even a thing, and it's one of those twists of fate that that's what we needed to do this last year. Yeah, we got to play. We got to write a bunch of new material, but this kept us
Sane, in a way.
sane, and kept us producing some kind of content, and
And it's been fun just being able to talk with people like you, and even people that maybe it's not a musician, maybe it's something I don't know a whole lot about, but I still think is cool. It's like we all get to learn a lot, and hopefully, I don't know, hopefully everyone gets as much out of it as we do, because we're having a blast doing it. So, man, we really appreciate you spending your time to talk with us, because we're fans of the band. Sign of Lies. I'm becoming good fans of the other projects as I'm getting more and more into it. I honestly didn't know that you were involved in so many projects until pretty recently. So I've been kind of trying to do my homework, and I'm just even more and more impressed. But man, we really appreciate you. I hope you just keep doing what you're doing and just keep rising to that next level and that next level.
Man, what you guys do, like it helps everyone right now that like they're like even like with people that aren't doing shows, it helps them kind of still stay in, you know, that social media platform. Like, and people may think that when it comes to social media, but like, man, just having like people that support bands that haven't made it yet is what is keeping us in right now. So like you guys doing this is fucking awesome. It's immensely helping everyone. Like, cause we, you know, I haven't done a in a while, so like this, you know, this podcast actually helps me kind of. And you guys are very relaxed, so it helps my energy because I'm a very nervous person. Like I was very nervous before this in, so I thank you guys for helping me and like just not, you know, not being condescending about certain questions or about certain ways that like, you know, like certain things, you know, like that's awesome and that's a rarity to find because people honestly like it's hard to get people to pay attention to you know, still trying to make a name for themselves. You know, they're worried about going to see what's his nuts at the arena center, and so it like thank you guys.
Yeah, yeah. Well, thank you again, and hopefully, when we get down your way, maybe we can do another one, at least like a short one, you know, in the same room, um, and then you know, get Jesse and get everybody in there and see what happens, man.
Yeah, I'd like for y'all to get to talk to Jesse and Jake and see all y'all mesh. Seems like we'd be all of us would be very um no, it doesn't feel like anyone would be like uncomfortable about anything because you guys are very laid back and you know very chill people to talk to. Like so,
Well, thank you.
thank you.
Yeah.
You know, Jake, he's a very comical guy. Like just with the shit he says, like he's a very funny person and very energetic. Keeps keeps the kind of mood going, like especially like at practice, you know, like rehearsal. Um, when we're you know, because me and Jesse, we're very like kind of people aside from you know getting on stage or anything. So like having that other element in there, it really helps us kind of like maintain our social skills so closed off all the time. So, and I'm enjoying it right now.
Right on, man. Well, again, thank you
Because
for.
normally, like me and him, like we could just each other and everything be fine. You know, most people would look at that, they're like, "What the fuck is wrong with those two?"
Well, man, before we let you go, why don't you let everyone know where they can find your projects online if they want to check out, you know, any one of these bands? Where do people need to go on the interwebs?
So I'd say like honestly, Facebook would probably be like the good go-to source because you just type in, you know, sign of lies or long easiest I've at least to me I found. YouTube, you can do YouTube, but it's just Facebook would probably be better. Spotify, uh, I would say like as far as like sign of lies, if you can go to our website, it's signoflies at gmail.com. It should have a list of our, you know, show dates and merchandise, as well as just kind of like a little of the band, you know, in case anyone wants to check that out. But I would say Facebook is the one that we're most. We have an Instagram, um, but I would say Facebook is the one we're kind of you know predominant on as far as like any of the social media sites go.
Okay.
Very savvy when it comes to um, working media, but it definitely like we post whenever we have shows, something coming up. Like if we have like a little live video we want to do, like it just um, it's been easy right now as far as all that goes, but we're trying to crack down on the lack of um, I guess the lack of doing so on my part. Because man, I don't get on, like, I hardly get on Facebook a whole lot, like unless it's just to like message people or something.
Mm-hmm.
But it's one of those things we're hoping to actually do a whole lot better as far as our social media. We're wanting to revamp it and try and get it relevant. She keep we're posting because man, a lot of times I can slip up on that and not even realize it till about like weeks pass. You're just like, oh shit, I gotta do something.
Right.
Can't just yeah.
Yeah, it is hard to keep that in mind. But I do want to just encourage all the people watching this video on YouTube or listening to this on Spotify or Apple or Google to check out Sign of Lies, check out Anti-Mortem, check out Longpig, and check out Wood and Bone. And you can follow them on Facebook, each one of those bands, be informed of show dates. Please also like this podcast. Leave us a review if you'd like. Send us a message. Tell us what you like, what you don't like. Flip us the bird. Don't care. Hit the bell icon on YouTube to be notified of new episodes. And thank you all for tuning in. And Arik, thank you for joining us, man. Really appreciate it.
Man, thank y'all for giving me the opportunity. Thank you guys for everything, and not on some sort of bullshit like a lot of people like to pull nowadays. So like, thank you guys
You bet.
immensely.
All right. Well, be well. We'll talk to you later.
Y'all be safe. See ya.